My guest today is attorney Rob Solomon. He's an attorney in our office, and he does a lot of landlord-tenant work. So, Rob, here is the question for you. How long does it take to evict a tenant in Florida?
Well, there is a, let's start with the mythology of this, which is that it takes, months, years, whatever, to evict a tenant. And, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. But the reality is that this is dependent on what a tenant does in response to your efforts to evict them. There are some cases in which you post a proper notice and the tenant up and leaves, and so that could happen within, 3 or 4 days. There are some cases you post the notice and have to bring a summons forth. So then you're waiting probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks before all the periods expire. But I will tell you that most landlord-tenant cases resolve themselves long before there would ever be a trial, and that's probably within the space of a month or most a month or two.
Well, I find that pretty amazing because most things in the law take forever and ever, and yet to evict a tenant, it might be as short as 2 weeks sometimes.
It's definitely happened, and part of it is that our legislature has made, one thing that they've done for landlords is to make this a summary process, meaning it can happen quite quickly.
Very good. And so then the last step to get a tenant out is the writ of possession, and how does that work?
Well, at the end of the day, if you have a tenant who you've had to actually serve a summons on and they fail to answer it, you're entitled to a judgment of eviction, and then you are then entitled by the clerk to issue a writ of possession, which you bring to the sheriff. The sheriff posts it at the residence, which gives the tenant 24 hours to depart. And what that really means is that 24 hours later, you with the sheriff show up. The sheriff keeps the peace while you change the locks, have the tenant move out. This would also follow a trial if there was not a default. That would be the same result if you were successful at trial.
Hey, Rob, very good. I know